What's an aspect ratio? It's the ratio of a video's width to its height, expressed as two numbers. For example, pre-HD TVs had an aspect ratio of 4:3, meaning they were 4 units wide and 3 units tall. Whereas modern HD TVs have 16:9 aspect ratio, meaning 16 units wide by 9 units tall. In cinema, the most popular aspect ratios used are 185:1 and the wider 239:1, which is often interchanged with 235 or rounded up to 24. But recently, a lesser-known ratio has started to take hold, the 2:1 aspect ratio. Today we're going to go over how filmmakers like David Fincher are using this ratio to tell their stories in unique and eye-catching ways. So what's the deal with 2:1, and why is it showing up more and more now? This is what is 2:1. But before we get started, subscribe and click the bell for more filmmaking videos. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about Vittorio Storaro. A 3-time Oscar winner, Storaro has been the DP on some films you may have heard of. In the late 90s, it was deemed by the entertainment industry that the 16:9 ratio of HD TVs would be an ideal format to contain both the narrowest aspect ratios, like 4:3, all the way through the very wide ratios, like 239. Storaro's concern was that 185 and 239 on a 16:9 screen would appear too awkward, requiring letterboxing or cropping. So he proposed a new universal film format. Storaro dubbed it Univisium, which translates to Unity of Images, to unify all theatrical and television projects, 2:1. Meaning the aspect ratio is twice as wide as it is tall, wide enough to satisfy the cinematic desires of a theater audience while nicely filling TV screens at home. Storaro said, "Any movie, no matter how big or small, successful or not, will, after a very short life on the big screen, have a much longer life on an electronic screen." So, let's compare 2:1 with the ratios we already know and love. 185 is a taller aspect ratio. It's great at featuring tall subjects, whereas 235 is a wider aspect ratio, and is often used in movies that feature epic landscapes. With 2:1 being somewhere in the middle, it provides us with similar grand landscapes you get with 235's width, without losing the benefits of 185's height. As a result, it's proven itself to be a versatile or safe option for most any genre. In both Hereditary and Midsummer, writer-director Ari Aster credits 2:1 with giving his films wide scope without sacrificing headroom for his characters. DP John Schwartzman and director Colin Trevorrow also used 2:1 for Jurassic World as a happy medium. Spielberg knew that 185's tall aspect ratio was best for framing its characters and dino friends. But Schwartzman and Trevorrow still wanted to keep the epic width of 239:1. We can take in the vast expanse of the island and surrounding jungle, while also featuring the film's taller subjects. If there's one place you've noticed 2:1, it's on your TV. David Fincher was the executive producer for the first Netflix original, House of Cards. While they could have stuck with the traditional 16:9 aspect ratio as seen on most TV shows, the show utilizes 2:1 to emulate a cinematic look featuring close-ups and wide shots in equal measure. All without losing the height of 185 or the scope of 239. Stranger Things has also taken advantage of 2:1. Series DP Tim Ives has said that he and the Duffer Brothers wanted to make a show that was, quote, more cinematic than what TV audiences normally watch. This is all fueled by 2:1's wider frame, producing light letterboxing on 16:9 televisions, giving audiences the impression of what Ives calls an event. If you want to find that happy medium between capturing drama and environment, the 2:1 aspect ratio just might be the ticket. More movies are now keeping the height of a tall cinematic aspect ratio with the scope of a wide one. And TV shows are evoking the look, feel, and language of a theater experience. The rise of 2:1 has proven just how forward-thinking Vittorio Storaro really was. As you approach the shot list for your next project, would you consider using 2:1? In Studio Binder, you can toggle between aspect ratios so you can see the differences. In the description, you'll find links below to articles on the Studio Binder blog. Subscribe to us as we continue our coverage of filmmaking techniques. Oh, and don't forget to enable notifications. We'll see you in the next one.